You find yourself standing at the base of a vast clock tower. The air around you is cool and tinged with the faint scent of old stone and starlight dot above. The sky is velvet dark, scattered with slow-moving stars, each one ticking softly like the hand of a distant clock. The tower hums, a low, resonant sound, like the heartbeat of time itself. Your feet rest on a floor made of polished obsidian, warm beneath your soles, reflecting the golden rings of moving light overhead every few seconds. A gentle chime rings out, not loud, but soft and round, like wind passing through crystal. The clock tower doesn't measure time in numbers. It measures it in breaths. You inhale slowly. The air is thick with calm. Stillness wraps round your shoulders like a familiar shawl. With every blink, the world seems to slow. As if even light has decided to rest tonight. You begin to walk, slowly, deliberately, along the spiral path that leads inward, toward the heart of time. The tower glows from within. Each pulse of light rises like a tide, cresting just beneath the arches, before fading again into golden dusk. Your hands brush against ancient stone, smooth and faintly warm, as though it remembers every soul who's ever passed this way. There is no hurry, no urgency. Time here does not chase, it waits. You take another step, and then another. Each footfall is silent, cushioned by a velvet hush that blankets the spiral corridor above you. Cogs made of stars drift in slow, deliberate rotation. Their edges glint with twilight. They turn not by force, but by memory. A soft breeze moves through the chamber, stirring the hem of your coat, carrying with it the scent of paper, old age, and dreams. You hear whispers. Not words, but echoes, echoes of moments already lived, stretched thin by distance, softened by night. And then you stop. In the center of the tower stands a pool of still water, black as ink, reflective as glass. You lean forward and see not your face, but time itself. The surface shows seasons blooming and fading, laughter ringing out and fading, sunrises melting into dusk, again and again. You blink once more, and when your eyes open, the images gone. But the feeling remains. That time is not a line, but a circle. You sit beside the pool. You breathe. The air here slows your thoughts, slows your heartbeat, slows your stories. The hum of the tower softens even more, until it becomes the same sound as your own breath. You place your hand gently on the floor. The stone hums back, a slow, low lullaby. You do not need to know the hour, or the day, or the year. You only need to be here. Now. Still. Quiet. Breathing. You rise slowly from the edge of the still water, your hand brushing the polished obsidian floor. The clock tower hum behind you becomes more distant, like a lullaby fading into memory. A narrow path opens before you, leading downward beneath the tower's heart, into a place few have seen, the garden of slow light. The descent is gentle, each step cushioned by moss that feels like woven moonlight. The walls curve inward, covered in vines that shimmer faintly, their leaves breathing in rhythm with your own chest. As you walk, soft luminescence gathers in the spaces between your thoughts. There is no fear here, no urgency, only the hush of the world exhaling. You pass beneath an archway made of knotted roots. They creak not from age, but from the pleasure of welcoming you beyond it. The path opens into a glade that pulses with living glow. It isn't bright, it doesn't sting the eyes. Instead, it glows with the softness of fireflies behind a silk curtain, light without edges. Warmth without weight. The garden stretches outward, an endless quilt of mosses and soft petals. Trees bend slightly toward you, their trunks carved with whorls like fingerprints. You brush your fingers along one. The bark is neither rough nor smooth, but textured like memory, soft with time. Above, bioluminescent leaves drift downward, turning lazily in the air before coming to rest near your feet. You kneel and touch the earth. It is not dirt. It is velvet, cool, but not cold, yielding, but not weak. You lie back, and it holds you, cradles you, accepts your shape without question. The air smells of rain that has not yet fallen, petrichor and distant pine, blended, with the faintest trace of something sweet, like nectar carried on a breeze. Each breath you take slows time. Your chest rises, falls, rises again. With every exhale, something inside you loosens. You are not shedding, not letting go, but returning. Coming back to a part of yourself that never left, only waited. You feel the glow settle into your skin. It isn't light from above, but from within the earth, pulsing slowly. Like a heart dreaming, a soft hum vibrates beneath your spine. Not music, not words, just resonance, the sound of everything being okay. You let your hand rest on the moss beside you. It feels warm now. The scent deepens, the light leans closer. Even the stillness has sheep here, and it presses gently against your limbs, inviting rest. You move deeper along the moss path. There is no urgency, no need to arrive anywhere. Every step is its own rival. Beneath your bare feet, the moss yields like memory, springy, cool, familiar. The glow in the garden changes as you move, not brighter or darker, but more attuned, as if the lights are breathing with you, as if the entire space listens to your presence and responds with gentleness. A low arch made of curved stone leads to a small clearing. There, the mist gathers in a shallow bowl carved into the earth. You kneel. The mist swirls, shimmering with faint colors, pale green, moonlight silver, soft coral. When you breathe in, the scent is like distant rain on warm stone. It fills your chest and softens the space behind your eyes. You rest beside the mist. Bowl, the ground is warm here, pulsing gently. It doesn't speak in words, but if it could, it would say, "You are home. You are safe. Nothing more is required of you now." Your limbs grow heavier. Not from effort, but from surrender. Like petals folding inward, like shadows melting into dusk, you feel yourself becoming part of the garden, not as a visitor, but as something remembered. There's a fountain nearby, carved not from stone, but from something softer, perhaps old driftwood, smoothed by centuries of tides. From its spout, water flows in a narrow ribbon, never rushing. It falls into a shallow pool with a sound like velvet being unrolled. You sit near the fountain now, your fingertips brushing the water's edge. It is neither cold nor warm, but perfectly in between, a temperature made not for function, but for calm. Around the pool, tiny blossoms open only at night. Their glow is nearly invisible, like the faint ring of light round the moon. They do not seek to be noticed. They simply exist. And their presence soothes something in your chest you hadn't known was unsettled. You lie back again, the sound of the fountain blending with your breath. Thoughts arrive, then drift away. Feelings pass like shadows across silk, and beneath all of it, the hum of the garden, like the earth's own lullaby, begins to sing you deeper. Your breath slows, your limbs melt into the moss, and the garden, its lights, its sounds, its miss and memory, holds you as gently as nightfall, and in that stillness you are not alone, you are cradled. You are welcomed, you are one with the slow light, somewhere above. Unseen branches sway without wind. The rhythm of their movement is imperceptible. Like the turning of seasons, like the breath of the planet, you feel it in your fingertips, in the soles of your feet, in the back of your neck where cool. Air kisses gently dot the longer you stay, the more you dissolve, not in disappearance, but in belonging. You are not a visitor to this place. You are a returning part of it, a wandering piece finding its place in the soft geometry of sleep. You think of nothing now, not because you must, but because there is nothing pressing for thought. The garden has taken every question and tucked it into a petal, and the petal has folded, and the flower has gone to sleep. All that remains is this breath, glow, hum, peace, asterisk. Asterisk, and so the garden of slow light holds you, not in arms, but in presence, not with weight, but with knowing, and slowly, gently, you fall, not down, but inward, into the warm center of rest, where dreams are not made, but remembered. The pulse beneath your body now matches the rhythm of your heart. It is slow, deep, ancient. The garden breathes with you, in and out, and even your bones seem to listen. Somewhere at the edge of perception, a bell chimes, not loudly, a single tone, round and low, like the memory of sound rather than sound itself. It doesn't wake you. It folds you deeper. You become aware of your eyelids, how heavy they are, how perfectly they slide downward without effort, how darkness behind them is not empty, but full of soft shapes, slow tides, and old stars. Your fingers curl lightly into the moss. Your breath no longer needs guidance. It simply flows. And you are the garden now. You are the mist, the glow, the hum. There is no need to continue, and yet the story does. Without haste, without ending. It loops like moonlight on water, always changing, always the same, and you. At the center of it, resting like a pearl in sleep's gentle tide. The glow from the flowers pulses slow now, sensing with the rhythm of your breath. The entire garden seems to lean inward, exhaling with you, soft and warm. Nothing needs to be said. Nothing needs to be named. You are here, and that is enough. The fountain's voice becomes more distant, like waves moving farther from shore. You do not miss them. Their echo lingers gently in your body. Like a cradle swaying long after the push has ended, you feel yourself drifting, floating just beneath the surface of sleep, not falling, not fading, but being carried by everything around you and everything within you. The garden holds no clocks, no borders, no destination, only return, only softness, only the endless spiral inward, toward yourself, toward peace, toward night's final embrace. And now, your breath is the only thing moving. Even time has stopped to rest beside you. And in this stillness, In this deep and endless hush, you fall inward, into sleep, into dream. Into the hush of the garden's glow, you awaken not with a start, but with a gentle knowing, as if a page has turned behind your eyes. The garden's last glow lingers like pollen on your fingertips. Now, a corridor of shadows stretches before you, soft and arching like the inside of a whisper. The air is velvet, cool, but not cold, quiet, but not empty. Your steps make no sound on the floor beneath, which seems to be made not of stone or wood, but memory. Each footfall sinks slightly, then releases, like walking on the breath of a story not yet told. Up ahead, a door opens by itself, not abruptly, not with ceremony, but the way a dream unfolds, slowly, as if it had been waiting for you. Beyond the door, the room is vast. It stretches in all directions and none. Shelves climb so high they vanish into soft shadow. They bend and twist and spiral gently toward no center, holding books that pulse faintly with their own unread energy. This is the library of unread dreams, and it knows you. You walk forward, and the air thickens, not with weight, but with presence. Every step you take sends a ripple through the floor, like a drop into still water. You glance to your left and see a book resting on a floating shelf made of woven light. Its cover shifts subtly in hue, deep lavender to faded rose to a gray. That reminds you of early morning mist. You do not reach for it. You only pause, and in the pause, the book breathes. All around you, the shelves hum, not with sound, but with emotion. Some books tremble softly, longing to be known. Others sleep deeply, content in their unreadness. The air smells of parchment and lavender, of distant storms and candles burned down to memory. In the center of the chamber, an orb of glass hovers. Inside it, tiny constellations drift slowly, as if mapping someone's forgotten dreams. Yours, perhaps, or maybe someone whose dream you'll step into next. You pass beneath it. It flickers gently, and nod, perhaps, and continues its spin. A curved staircase reveals itself, not built, but grown. The steps are made of bound pages, soft and giving underfoot. You ascend slowly, trailing your fingers along a railing made of braided ink. Every loop and twist tells a story. You don't try to read it. You simply let the language pass through your fingertips like warm rain. At the top of the stairs is a chamber wrapped in silence. Not the absence of noise, but the presence of deep attention. Here, books float like lanterns, each one glowing faintly, orbiting you in slow, thoughtful spirals. Some are open. Their pages flutter as if breathing. Others remain closed, heavy with meaning not yet ready to be revealed. Asterisk one drifts closer. You don't reach. It chooses you. It lands softly in your hands, warm as skin. The cover is made of something familiar, perhaps the velvet coat your grandfather wore, or the spine of a journal you once buried under a pillow. Its title is unreadable, but not unknowable. You open it, and a scent rises. Cloves, ocean fog. The wood of a door never closed all the way. The pages are blank. At first, but as you breathe in and out, softly, patiently, lines begin to form, not in ink, in light. The letters shimmer, curve, then dissolve before your eyes. You're not meant to read them. You're meant to feel them. And so you do. The words lift from the page like mist. They curl round your hands. your wrists, then drift upward, slipping past your shoulders and into the air above. They gather there, a soft canopy of meaning that asks nothing of you, only that you rest beneath it. You close the book, and it dissolves into warmth. Not heat, but presence. It doesn't fall. It simply becomes the air. You turn slowly. A chair has appeared behind you, cushioned, deep, wrapped in a fabric that hums faintly with lullabies. You sink into it, not to sit, but to settle. Your body releases its tension in layers, first the shoulders, then the spine, then the slow unwinding of your hands round you. The books continue to float. One by one, they begin to close. Their pages tuck themselves in. Their covers soften. Even the shelves seem to relax, bowing gently as if exhaling from a long-held breath far above. The ceiling flickers, not with light, but with memory, faint. Constellations, like freckles on the sky, shimmer briefly, then fade. Each one marks a story you've forgotten. But the library has not. The chair tilts slightly, embracing you like an old friend. You feel yourself drifting, not away, but deeper into the stories, into the space between pages, into the hush that comes after the last word is spoken. And before the next dream begins, the light dims further, not into darkness, but into velvet, a warm dusk that wraps you gently, somewhere. A bell sounds, not to wake, but to welcome. Its tone is low, round, like the memory of a lullaby. It echoes once, then disappears. You let your head fall back. The chair responds, cradling your neck, aligning your breath with the gentle rhythm of the room. Inhale, hold, exhale. Again, slower this time, and slow still. The shelves round you begin to melt into mist. Books become outlines, outlines become shadow, shadow becomes warmth. You are no longer reading. You are no longer dreaming. You are simply here. Another book appears, smaller. It floats just above your lap. The cover is blank. You don't open it. You don't need to, somehow. You already know this one is writing itself from your breath, your pulse, your letting go. You close your eyes. The ink continues without you. You are the unread dream. Time becomes soft here. It doesn't pass. It floats. The chair rocks slightly, the way a leaf might drift across a still lake. Round you, the ceiling stars blink slowly, irregularly, like thoughts losing their shape. You feel them dim behind your eyelids. You feel the weight of your fingertips disappear. You are being unmade, not broken, unfastened. A breeze moves through the library. It smells of jasmine and worn cotton. It doesn't push, it invites. Your breath moves with it. No effort, just rhythm, just gentle surrender. Inhale, the scent of old rain. Exhale, the warmth of an unopened letter. Inhale, the hush of a window at night. Exhale, the quiet between questions. You don't notice the shells vanish. They leave politely, as if stepping out of the room to let you sleep. The books follow. The air is still full, but of nothing, and it is enough. You drift, not away, but inward, downward, deeper. The chair is no longer a chair. It is a cloud. It is breath. It is the space beneath a lullaby, behind a memory, beyond a page. You have become part of the library now, not a reader, not a dreamer, but a chapter, soft and slow and luminous. A story without urgency, a page without edges, asterisk. Asterisk, no more shelves, dot, no more names, dot, no more time. Only this, the quiet beneath words, dot, the warmth beyond meaning, dot, the silence after the last sentence, dot, and within it all. You, dot, sleeping, dot, unwritten, dot, infinite. You do not wake, yet something stirs, not outside, but within, a subtle realignment, like the settling of a feather. You are still part of the story, still wrapped in the hush of unread pages. Yet a new path unfolds beneath your drifting breath. You feel it first beneath your feet. A shift, the cloud chair. Once formless, has grown roots, not roots of wood or vine, but of intention. They stretched softly beneath you, nudging you downward, not with gravity, but with welcome. You descend gently, slowly, as if lowered by the hands of sleep itself. There is no tunnel, no staircase, no descent you can see, only the sense of motion paired with safety. The air thickens with warmth, like the space beneath a quilt kissed by morning sun. Your body doesn't fall. It releases and then your feet touch something solid, grass, not ordinary grass, but something finer, threads of moonlight woven with dew. It bends beneath you with kindness, and where you step, it sighs. You open your eyes. If only slightly. Before you, a garden, but not like the garden you remember from waking life. This one stretches endlessly, not outward, but inward, an ever-unfolding spiral of softness and scent. The air here hums with deep stillness. The silence is floral, petaled breathing. You take a step. The garden responds. A path appears, not drawn, but grown. Soft stones rising gently through the moss, lighting as your toes near them, then dimming behind you like closing eyelids to your left. A tree leans, heavy with silver leaves that chime in a wind you do not feel, too. You're right. Tall blossoms tilt their heads as you pass, their colors shifting with your heartbeat. Lavender, then blue, then barely their gold. You do not rush. You could not, even if you tried. Here, time does not tick. It opens. Each moment is a bloom. And you, its center, the path curves slightly, leading you beneath an arch formed not by stone, but by the outstretched arms of sleeping vines. They do not block your way. They cradle it above you, a sky the color of memory, not quite blue, not yet night. In it, soft constellations form and dissolve, not stars, but symbols, as though dreams are being written in reverse across the heavens. A pool appears ahead. It isn't large. It doesn't need to be. Still as glass, deep as forgetting. It reflects, not the sky above, but the dream you carry inside. Shifting seams that rise and fade without names. A slow inhale draws you closer. The air here is thick with jasmine and distant rain. The kind of scent that lingers on old letters and worn scarves. You kneel, not out of necessity, but invitation. Your fingers trail the surface. It doesn't ripple. It welcomes. There's no cold, only memory. You dip your hand fully into the water, and instead of wetness, you feel warmth. It moves up your arm like a lullaby made of light. Not rushing, not claiming, just understanding. It knows you, Not the version the world sees, the true you, the soft you, the hidden gardens inside you. And it does not judge, it only listens. You lean closer, eyes half closed. You don't see your face. You see a story, blooming slowly across. The mirrored stillness, no words, just the essence of who you are, unspoken and perfectly safe. You sit there for a while, minutes, hours, or something beyond both. You let the garden hold your breath. The pool cradle your reflection, the silence speak what you no longer need to say. Then, when you're ready, not before, you rise, you walk deeper. The garden thickens, not in obstruction, but in intimacy. The path becomes moss, and the moss becomes mist. It curls round your ankles, cool and luminous, like the breath of a sleeping forest. Each step is slow now, not from fatigue, but reverence. The plants here don't grow, they rest. Tall ferns that sway in rhythms too slow to see, flowers that open only when no one watches, trees that lean toward you, not for sunlight, but companionship. A cluster of pale blossoms hovers at a level. One tilts forward, brushing your cheek with a softness that feels like distant laughter. You smile. Or maybe the garden smiles through you. There is no need for a direction here. You follow where stillness leads. Soon, you come upon a stone bench, nestled beneath a willow with branches like silk. You do not sit, you writhe. The bench seems to shift to meet your shape. Its surface is warm, not from sun, but from welcome asterisk above you. The willow's threads begin to glow, not with light, but with memory. Soft moments drift down like petals, a hand once held, a lullaby half remembered, a breeze that carried your name long ago. You close your eyes. You do not dream, you dissolve. There is a softness to being here, not an escape, but a return. A gentle rejoining with something you didn't know you missed. Something wordless, something wide. The willow hums faintly, a sound lower than thought. It is not music. It is the feeling before music, a tremble in the chest, a softening behind the eyes. You rest there, not waiting, not expecting, simply being. The garden notices, from the moss at your feet, small threads of light begin to curl upward. They aren't vines, they aren't roots, they are the dream's breath, rising to greet your stillness. They do not bind, they cradle. One brushes your hand, another touches your temple. And with each point of contact, a memory unknots the worry. You forgot to put down. The tension still coiled in your shoulders. The question that never needed answering. All of it loosened. All of it released. You feel yourself become lighter. Not smaller, but simpler. Like a sigh exhaled after being held too long. You are not disappearing. You are writhing. The garden deepens its embrace. Time has no edges here. It blurs, like watercolor left in rain. You blink, or maybe not. The garden responds either way. The path behind you fades. The flowers begin to close, not in fear, but in trust. You've seen enough. You've remembered what you came to forget. The willow sighs, and you feel it in your bones. You rise, or perhaps you dissolve more deeply, and begin to move again, though the movement feels less like walking and more like floating through familiarity. Your feet do not press, they hover, the air thickens, warm and blue. Somewhere, something hums your name, But it doesn't need to be heard, only felt. A soft tunnel of vines welcomes you now. They part without sound, curling gently behind as you pass. This is not a passage, it's a lullaby. You begin to lose the garland's shapes. Colors soften. Edges melt. What remains is texture. Warmth, breath. Your thoughts drift slower. Your muscles sleep before you do. And when you reach the center, if it can be called that, you do not writhe. You dissolve again. But this time, completely. There is nothing more to do now. No more steps. No more remembering. No more names. Only the soft rhythm of your breath. The warmth beneath your spine. And the slow ripple of something kind moving through your chest. The garden fades. Not into absence, but into you. You carry its scent in your lungs. Its hush in your heartbeat. Its peace in the corners of your thoughts. You are not leaving it. You are becoming it. One petal at a time. One breath at a time. Until there is only one thing left. Sleep. Soft. Whole. Endless. You are no longer in the garden. Or perhaps the garden has become something more, something vaster, lighter, stretched across the velvet folds of night. There is no path now. No stone, no root, no leaf, only you drifting. You do not fall. You do not fly. You float, cradled by something deeper than water, softer than wind. It is starlight. It is sleep. It is the breath of the universe itself, exhaled into the shape of a boat made not of wood, but of shimmer and silence. You lie upon it. It rocks not with waves, but with the pulse of distant suns. A slow rhythm longer than ours, wider than days. Above you, stars, but not sharp, not bright, not watching. They glow like memories you didn't know you missed. Some pulse gently. Others drift slowly in arcs, like lanterns falling invisible. Tides, and you so still. So safe become part of this rhythm. Your breath lengthens, your thoughts loosen, your limbs forget their weight. The boat carries you, not toward a destination, but into deepening stillness. There are no sounds here, not in the way you once knew them, only frequencies of calm, a hush that hums behind your ribs, a vibration so low. It feels like a lullaby pressed into your bones. A soft current stirs beneath. The boat, not water, not air, something in between. It lifts you just enough to notice, then lowers you back into ease. You reach out, not with your hand, but with your awareness. And the stars respond. One brushes your cheek like the memory of a kiss. Another lingers near your palm. Not touching, only warming. They do not speak, but they understand. You are not here to explore. You are here to forget. To forget the shape of pressure. To forget the names of noise. To remember how it feels to simply be. The stars are not strangers. They are the distant, dreaming parts of you, long asleep, long waiting. And now, finally, you join them. You feel your body thin, not disappear, but dissolve. The outline softens. The inside quiets. Dots stretch into glows. Breath turns to mist. You are not asleep. You are becoming sleep. The boat, if it was ever truly there, becomes part of you. You float forward, gently pulled, gently held. You are moving not across a place, but through a feeling, a wide, endless softness, a blue that sings only in silence, a lull that deepens with every second. A distant nebula unfolds ahead, not with light, but with warmth. A slow spiral of colorless glow, coiling through the dark. You pass through it without effort. Without question, it knows your shape. Before you knew your name, as you move deeper. Time releases its grip. Moments blur into one, another like watercolor. On velvet, you cannot tell how long you've been here. But there is no urgency, only the assurance that here. Nothing is expected. You do not need to remember what sleep is. You are inside its center. Your sleep's own echo, rippling outward, gently softening everything you used to be. The nebula opens round you like arms. Not holding, just welcoming. It hums. Low and low and low until your bones forget they were once solid. The stars above you begin to dim, not vanish. Dim. As if blinking slowly, in rhythm with your chest. Even your breath begins to sway long, fluid, circular. Inhale, like drawing. In cloud. Exhale, like laying down stone. Repeat. Repeat. The drift continues. There are no edges now. No before. No after. Only now. Only here. Your name fades, not lost, but softened. Like chalk in rain, you are not gone. You are remade. You are breath. You are rhythm. You are warmth in the shape of being. The stars no longer twinkle. They hum. They pulse. They slow with you, round you. Small threads of light like feathers of night begin to gather. They curl through your thoughts. They dust across your chest. They press no weight. They offer no question. Only comfort. You are not being watched. You are being held. Not tightly. Not at all. Only enough. Enough for the mind to stop reaching. Enough for the heart to stop racing. Enough for the self to simply float. You do. You float. And float. And float. Every moment slows. Every sense softens. There is nothing loud. Nothing sharp. Only soft. Only slow. Only here. You begin to forget the shape of your limbs. You begin to forget the idea of forgetting. All that remains is this drift, this quiet, this warm, cosmic cradle, a rhythm you do not control, a rhythm you do not need to control. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Again. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Stillness. Stillness like velvet pressed against a sleeping mind. Stillness like the pause between two stars. Remembering they are made of the same silence. You are deeper now. You do not fall. You do not notice. You simply arrive. The drift becomes you. The stars forget to shine. The breath forgets to rise. And you forget to wake. You do not sleep like you used to. You sleep like wind forgotten in a canyon, like light resting behind eyelids, like time. Pause. There is nothing left to feel, only the feeling of nothing, and even that fades. Slowly. Kindly. Completely. You do not end. You dissolve into hush. Into hum, into the gentle space between stars, where nothing stirs and everything rests, including you, especially you. Now. Now. Somewhere beyond thought. A new light begins, not sunrise, not return. Just the soft promise that stillness has shape. You are not pulled from sleep. You are carried forward gently, slowly by the same drift that held you through the stars. The quiet deepens before it lifts. It does not end. It thins. The hush becomes a breeze. The darkness becomes a hue. And your breath, still soft, begins to stretch a little farther. No alarm sounds. No voice calls. Only warmth spreading outward from where you're not sure you begin. a kind of awareness hazy, and it gathers at the edge of your being, not a boundary, a glow. You remain adrift, but the tide has shifted slightly, from descent to return. You are still in the stars, but their hum has softened, their pull has lightened. You remember the boat not with vision, but with feeling. It sways again, not as before, but as if acknowledging your time together. The shimmer dissolves beneath, you becoming air, becoming ground, becoming something you trust without needing to name. There is no need to open your eyes, not yet, perhaps not at all, but somewhere within. You begin to notice memory of soil. Of moss. Of leaf. The forest returns not in sight, but in scent. Pine. Earth. Water warmed by light. It curls round you gently, like a shawl placed on sleeping shoulders. No weight. Only warmth. And the hush still deep, still wide remains with you. But now it walks beside your breath, not beneath it. You are not waking. You are being welcomed. By the body that waited. By the stillness that stayed. By the peace you found, and the peace that found you. And now, even here, you rest, not as escape, not as departure, but as reunion. With self. With rhythm, with enough. Each breath is a note held longer than sound. Each thought is a feather floating without wind. You do not need to leave the stars to carry them. They have woven into your bones. Their stillness hums beneath your skin. You have not gone somewhere. You have returned to everywhere. No moment needs your effort. No future needs your shape. You are here. Still. Soft. Whole. Sleep may come. Sleep may stay. You need only drift. Nothing more. No more seeking. No more stories. Only breath. Only hush. Only now. Now. Now.